You believe your thoughts are silent, private, and formless. You believe they are harmless whispers in the theater of your skull, a stream of consciousness that lives and dies without ever touching the real world. This is the most profound and disempowering illusion you have been taught to accept. The truth is, your thoughts are not silent. They are frequencies. They are not private. They are broadcasts. And they are not formless. Every single thought you have is a precise, geometric structure of energy, a shape, a blueprint. And it is not happening in your head. It is happening in a field of energy that is you. And this geometry is not static. It is magnetic. It is a resonant architecture that is constantly, relentlessly, and infallibly organizing the matter and energy of your world to match its own shape. You are not living in a world of random events. You are living inside the cathedral of your own mind, and you have been its unconscious architect. If you are ready to see the unseen architecture of your own creation, if you are prepared to become a conscious designer of your reality instead of a prisoner of your old blueprints, then take a slow, deep breath. We are about to reveal the sacred geometry that governs your life. Subscribe and join this circle, because the power to build a new world lies in understanding the shape of a single thought. Part 1. The Invisible Blueprint. Let us begin by becoming aware of the architecture we have already built. Let us take a tour of the invisible structures that are, at this very moment, shaping your physical reality. You cannot see them with your eyes, but you can feel them with your heart. They are the energetic blueprints of your most habitual thoughts and beliefs. Bring your attention to your physical body. Feel its posture, its tensions, its chronic aches. The hidden voice tells you this is a result of aging, of genetics, of physical stress. But let us look deeper. What is the geometric shape of the thought, I am not safe in the world? It is a shape of contraction. It is a cringing, a pulling in, a tightening. For decades, you may have been holding this thought form, and that geometric pattern of contraction has been impressed upon your physical form. The tense shoulders, hunched forward to protect the heart. The shallow breathing, afraid to take in too much of a dangerous world. The tight jaw, bracing for impact. Your chronic pain is not just a physical issue. It is a piece of frozen geometry. It is the architectural expression of a thought of fear. Now, bring your attention to your financial reality. Look at the numbers in your bank account, the flow of abundance in your life. The hidden voice tells you this is a result of the economy, of your job, of your luck. But what is the hidden geometry? What is the shape of the belief there is never enough? It is the shape of a clenched fist, a closed container. It is a resonant form that repels flow and attracts experiences of scarcity. It is a geometric blueprint that instructs the quantum field to manifest lack, because lack is the shape of the thought you are broadcasting. The emptiness in your bank account is a perfect architectural reflection of the feeling of emptiness generated by your belief. Consider your relationships. Think of the recurring patterns, the dramas that seem to play out over and over again. What is the geometry of the thought, I am not worthy of love? It is a fractured, incomplete shape, a pattern with a missing piece. It is a resonant form that subtly broadcasts a signal of unlovability. It causes you to unconsciously choose partners who will confirm this belief, who will fail to see your worth. It causes you to sabotage intimacy when it gets too close, because the energy of true, whole love does not fit into the fractured blueprint you are holding for yourself. The painful patterns in your relationships are not bad luck. They are geometry. They are the elegant, tragic, and perfect manifestation of the shape of your own self-concept. For your entire life, you have been trying to fix the building. You have tried to fix your body with medicine. You have tried to fix your finances with hard work. You have tried to fix your relationships with communication strategies. You have been running around, trying to patch the cracks in the walls, straighten the crooked floors, and fix the leaky roof. But the forgotten knowledge is this. You cannot fix the building, because the building is just a projection. It is a hologram. You must change the blueprint. The hidden geometry of your thoughts is the invisible, energetic blueprint from which your entire life is constructed. You have been its unconscious architect, drawing the same tired, fearful, limiting blueprints day after day, and then wondering why you are living in the same crumbling, uncomfortable house. The power to change your world does not lie in manipulating the world of effects. It lies in the courageous and conscious act of picking up the divine drafting tools of your own mind and beginning, at last, to draw a new blueprint. Part 2. The Science of Form, Cymatics, and Sacred Geometry. This idea that thought and frequency create geometric form may sound like a mystical abstraction, but it is a demonstrable scientific fact. The bridge between vibration and form has a name: cymatics. Cymatics is the study of visible sound and vibration. It is a simple and stunningly beautiful science. You take a metal plate, cover with fine powder like sand or salt, and then you vibrate the plate with specific sound frequency. What happens is nothing short of miraculous. The sand, which was in a chaotic random pile, instantly organizes itself into a precise, intricate, and beautiful geometric pattern. A low frequency might create a simple circle or cross. As you increase the frequency, the patterns become exponentially more complex and beautiful. Perfect hexagons, intricate mandalas, star-like shapes. The sand is not creating the pattern. The sand is simply making visible the invisible geometric field that is being generated by the sound wave. The vibration creates a template, an architecture, and the matter has no choice but to conform to it. I invite you to pause this session for a moment and search for a video of cymatics online. Watch it. See it with your own eyes. It will change the way you think about sound, about vibration, and about the nature of creation itself. Now, take this principle and apply it to your own being. Your thoughts are not silent. As we have learned, every thought is a vibration. Every emotion is a vibration. Your state of being is a constant broadcast of a complex chord of frequencies, and your body and the world around you are like the sand on the cymatic plate. They are the matter that is being constantly organized by the vibrational geometry of your consciousness. When you are in a state of fear, of anger, of despair, you are broadcasting a low, chaotic, dissonant frequency. And the sand of your life, your health, your finances, your relationships, organizes itself into a chaotic, messy, and painful pattern. It is the law. When you are in a state of love, of gratitude, of peace, you are broadcasting a high, coherent, harmonious frequency. And the sand of your life organizes itself into a beautiful, intricate, and graceful pattern. This is not positive thinking. This is physics. The ancient cultures knew this. They did not need oscilloscopes and frequency generators to understand this principle. They understood it through pure intuition and observation, and they encoded this knowledge into their most sacred art and architecture. This is the origin of sacred geometry. Why is the shape of a six-petal flower so universally beautiful? Why does the spiral of a nautilus shell feel so deeply resonant? Why were the great cathedrals of Europe built using specific geometric ratios? Because these are the shapes of harmony. They are the cymatic patterns created by the high-frequency vibrations of life, of beauty, of the divine. The flower of life, the seed of life, the Sri Yantra, the Metatron's cube. These are not just pretty patterns. They are two-dimensional representations of the fundamental geometric blueprints of creation. They are the architecture of God. When you meditate on these sacred forms, you are not just looking at a picture. You are tuning your own energy field to the frequency that the form represents. You are helping your own inner sand to remember its original, harmonious pattern. The forgotten knowledge is this: your mind is a cymatic plate. Your thoughts are the sound frequencies. And your life is the pattern that appears in the sand. You cannot have a beautiful, harmonious life while broadcasting a chaotic, dissonant frequency. The geometry does not lie. If you want to change the pattern of your life, you must first change the song you are singing with your soul. Part 3. The Shape of Your Thoughts, a Practical Inquiry. Let us now move from the general to the exquisitely personal. Let us become geometricians of our own minds. We're going to perform an inquiry to discover the hidden, habitual shapes of our own thoughts. This is a practice of radical self-awareness. Find your quiet space. Close your eyes. Let the outer world fade. We are going to examine the geometry of 3 core areas of your life: your self-worth, your relationship to abundance, and your connection to love. Inquiry 1. The geometry of your self-worth. Bring your attention to your core feeling about yourself. Beneath all the masks and accomplishments, what is the fundamental background feeling of I? For many of us, The habitual thought is, I am not enough. I am lacking. I am flawed. Now, let's translate that thought into a shape. What is the geometric shape of the feeling, I am not enough? Don't think about it logically. Feel it. For many, it might feel like a circle with a piece missing, a broken puzzle piece, an incomplete form. It is a shape that is inherently unstable and weak. It is a shape that yearns to be filled from the outside. Now, just hold this shape in your awareness. See it. Feel its fractured, aching geometry. This is the blueprint you have been broadcasting. And so, the universe, in its perfect mirror-like wisdom, has brought you experiences that match this shape. Experiences of not being chosen, of being overlooked, of falling short. It has simply confirmed the geometry of your own broadcast. Acknowledge this without judgment. This has been my blueprint. Inquiry 2, the geometry of your abundance. Now, bring your attention to your thoughts and feelings about money, about resources, about your ability to receive from the universe. For many, the core thought is one of scarcity and fear. There is a limited supply. I have to struggle and fight for my share. Money is hard to get and easy to lose. What is the geometric shape of this scarcity consciousness? Feel it. It might feel like a small, tight, clenched box, a fortress with high walls and a tiny door. It is a shape of holding, of hoarding, of defending. It is a geometric form designed to prevent flow. Hold this shape in your awareness. See this tight little box that you have been living in. This is the blueprint you have been sending to the quantum field. And so, the field has responded perfectly. The flow of abundance comes towards you, but it hits the walls of your clenched, fearful geometry and bounces off. Only a tiny trickle can make it through the small door. Your financial reality is a perfect reflection of this inner architecture. Acknowledge it. This has been my blueprint. Inquiry 3, the geometry of your love. Now, bring to mind your patterns in romantic love and intimate connection. For many, the underlying thought form is one of fear of engulfment or fear of abandonment. What is the shape of the fear of abandonment? It is the shape of a desperate, grasping hand. A hook. It is a geometry that reaches out and tries to cling, to possess, to control the other, out of a terror of being left alone. This magnetic blueprint repels healthy, sovereign partners and attracts partners who also fear abandonment, creating the painful drama of the push and pull, codependent relationship. What is the shape of the fear of engulfment? It is the shape of a wall with spikes on it. It is a keep out sign. It is a geometry that desires connection, but is terrified of losing itself in the other. It broadcasts a contradictory signal. Come close, but not too close. And so it creates relationships that are perpetually at a distance, lacking true intimacy and depth. Whatever your pattern is, feel its shape now. See the blueprint. Acknowledge it without shame. This has been the architecture of my heart. This inquiry can be profound and uncomfortable, but it is essential. You cannot draw a new blueprint until you have seen the old one clearly. The reason this knowledge was buried is because it forces us to take absolute responsibility. It reveals that our life is not a series of random misfortunes. It is a masterpiece of geometric precision, designed by our own unconscious minds. And while that can be a difficult truth to swallow, it is also the key to our absolute freedom. For the architect who drew the old plans has the power to burn them and to draw new ones. Part 4. Thought forms in the mental plane. This concept of thoughts as energetic, geometric objects is not a new invention. It is a core teaching in virtually all esoteric and occult traditions. These traditions have long taught that there exists, parallel to our physical world, a mental plane or astral plane, a dimension made not of dense matter, but of finer, more subtle substance that is instantly responsive to thought. In this realm, every thought you think creates a literal, objective thought form. A thought form is a temporary, living entity made of mental and emotional energy. It has a specific shape, a specific color, and a specific vibrational frequency. The great clairvoyants and esoteric teachers of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, such as Annie Besant and C.W. Leadbeater of the Theosophical Society, claim to be able to perceive this mental plane directly. In their seminal work, thought forms. They describe and even illustrate these geometric creations in stunning detail. They explain that a thought of pure, selfless love does not just feel good. It creates a beautiful, radiant, star-like form on the mental plane in brilliant hues of rose and gold. This thought form radiates out from the individual, blessing and uplifting everything it touches. A thought of sharp, intellectual clarity might create a precise, star-like form in a vibrant yellow. A thought of high spiritual aspiration creates a beautiful, conical, spire-like form in a luminous blue, reaching upwards. Conversely, a thought of anger or hatred creates a jagged, ugly, lightning bolt-like form in a dirty, fiery red and black. A thought of deep depression creates a heavy, leaden, gray-brown cloud that clings to the person, draining their life force. A thought of selfish greed creates a brownish, hook-like shape, reaching out to grasp. These thought forms, they taught, are not just fleeting illusions. They are real energetic magnets. A person who habitually generates angry thought forms creates a powerful magnetic center in their aura that attracts other angry thought forms from the collective mental atmosphere, and also attracts situations and people that will provoke more anger. They become trapped in a self-perpetuating feedback loop of their own geometric creation. This esoteric science provides the missing link in the chain of creation. Your thought is not just an electrical signal in your brain. It is a geometric broadcast on the mental plane. This geometric form then acts as a magnetic blueprint. It organizes the energy of the quantum field around itself, and over time, if the thought is held with sufficient feeling and repetition, it steps down in vibration and precipitates into a physical circumstance. Your life is the crystallized 3D printout of the dominant geometries you are holding in your mind. This is why they buried this knowledge. It is far too powerful. It reveals that your thoughts are not private. They are active, creative forces that are shaping the very fabric of reality. It reveals that you are not just responsible for your actions. You are responsible for the very architecture of your energy field. A population that understands this would have to become radically self-aware. They could no longer afford the luxury of a single negative, fearful, or hateful thought, because they would understand that they were literally building their own prison with it. They would have to learn to become masters of their own mental geometry. And a master cannot be enslaved. Part 5. The Conscious Architect. You are an architect. For most of your life, you have been drawing your blueprints unconsciously, in the dark, using the broken and limiting tools handed down to you by your programmers. You have been tracing the old, fearful shapes of your ancestors and your culture. And you have been living in the leaky, cramped, and uncomfortable houses that those blueprints produce. The journey of awakening is a journey of becoming a conscious architect. It is a decision to turn on the light in your drafting room, to throw away the old, flawed templates, and begin to intentionally draw new blueprints that reflect the magnificence, the abundance, and the love that is your true nature. This is the great work. This is the power you are here to reclaim. This is the pivotal moment when you move from being a victim of your own geometry to becoming its conscious creator. It is a shift of identity, a reclamation of your divine, creative power. If you are ready to make this shift, to pick up the sacred compass and T-square your own awareness and begin designing a new reality, then make a conscious declaration of this intent. Click the like button. Let this simple physical action be a symbol of your inner commitment. You are firing the unconscious architect and hiring yourself for the job. You are claiming your power. By liking and sharing this, you are sending out a resonant blueprint of empowerment, one that can inspire other sleeping architects to wake up and redesign their own worlds. Now, how do we begin this work of conscious design? We must first choose the new shapes we wish to create. We must define the geometry of our desired reality. Let us return to our 3 inquiries. The new geometry of self-worth. The old shape was a broken circle, the incomplete form of I am not enough. What is the geometry of wholeness? Feel into it. It is a perfect sphere, a circle with no beginning and no end. It is balanced, stable, complete in and of itself. It does not need anything from the outside to make it whole. This is a shape you must now practice embodying. Your new thought form, your new blueprint is I am a complete and perfect expression of the divine. I am whole. The new geometry of abundance. The old shape was a clenched fist, the small, tight box of scarcity. What is the geometry of true abundance? It is an open channel, a radiant, spiraling vortex, like a galaxy. It is a shape that is constantly receiving and constantly giving, in a state of effortless, joyful flow. It is not about holding on. It is about allowing through. Your new blueprint is, I am an open conduit for the infinite abundance of the universe. All my needs are met with grace and ease. The new geometry of love. The old shape was the grasping hook of abandonment or the spiked wall of engulfment. What is the geometry of sacred, whole love? It is a shape of two perfect spheres, two suns shining side by side. Neither one is trying to get its light from the other. Both are radiant from their own core. They are in a relationship not of need, but of resonance. They dance together. They harmonize. They amplify each other's light. Your new blueprint is, I am a sovereign being, whole and complete in myself. I attract and enjoy relationships that are a joyful dance of two whole souls. These are your new blueprints. Your job now is not to try to make them happen. Your job is to hold these geometric thought forms in your mind with feeling and focus. Every single day, you are the architect, creating the new design in the unseen realm of the mental plane. And you must trust that the construction crew, the laws of the universe, the quantum field, will now get to work building the new house according to your new plans. Part 6. From blueprint to building, the magnetic power of feeling. We have established that your thoughts are the geometric blueprints. But a blueprint, on its own, is just a drawing on a piece of paper. It has no power to build anything. What is the energy that takes the blueprint and begins to organize the raw materials of reality to conform to it? What is the force that powers a construction? The forgotten secret is that the energy is magnetism, and the source of this magnetism is feeling. Your thought is a geometric structure, but your emotion, your feeling, is a magnetic charge that you wrap around that structure. A thought without feeling is a powerless blueprint. A feeling without a clear thought is just chaotic energy. But when you combine a clear, focused geometric thought with a powerful, coherent, elevated emotion, you create a magnetic thought form. You create a resonant blueprint that begins to powerfully attract the corresponding reality from the quantum field. This is the hidden meaning behind the phrase, be careful what you wish for. It should be careful what you feel for. You do not get what you think about. You get what you feel about. Let's make this stunningly practical. Let's return to the blueprint for abundance, the radiant, open, spiraling vortex. You can hold this image in your mind. But if you are holding that image while feeling the familiar, contractive emotion of worry and lack in your body, what are you broadcasting? You are broadcasting a confusing, contradictory signal. The geometry of the thought is expansive, but the magnetism of the feeling is contractive. The two cancel each other out, and nothing changes. This is a state of frustration where most people live. The great work of the conscious architect is to learn how to generate the feeling that matches the new blueprint before the new building has been constructed. You must learn to generate the magnetic field of your future reality in the present moment. How do you do this? Through the sacred technology of your heart. Let us practice generating the magnetic field of abundance. Close your eyes. Hold the geometric image of the open, spiraling vortex of flow in your mind's eye. Now, we must add the magnetism. We must generate the feeling of abundance. What does abundance feel like in your body? It feels like ease. It feels like freedom. It feels like safety. It feels like generosity. It feels like gratitude. Choose one of these feelings. Let's choose gratitude. Now, your task is not just to think of gratitude. It is to generate the physical, palpable, chemical sensation of it in your body. Bring to mind something you are genuinely grateful for right now. It could be the air you are breathing, the comfort of your chair, the love of a pet. Let that feeling of appreciation swell in your heart center. Let it become a warm, powerful physical sensation. Now, here is the alchemical trick. You're going to take this powerful, magnetic feeling of gratitude, and you are going to mentally wrap it around your new geometric blueprint for abundance. You are holding the thought form of the open vortex, and you are charging it with a powerful magnetic feeling of gratitude. You are feeling grateful for the effortless, abundant flow that is your new reality, as if it is already here. You are no longer a person who wants abundance. You are a person who is living in the grateful feeling of abundance right now. You have created a powerful, coherent, magnetic thought form. You have sent out an irresistible signal into the field. You have drawn a blueprint, and you have switched on the giant electromagnet that will begin to pull the necessary materials, the opportunities, the ideas, the people, the resources out of the field of potential and into your life. This is the technology. This is why it was buried. It is the secret of moving from being a magnetic reactor, unconsciously attracting experiences that match your old, fearful geometry, to being a magnetic creator, consciously attracting experiences that match your new, chosen, beautiful geometry. You are the architect, and you are the magnet, and your feeling is a power that turns your blueprint into a living, breathing reality. Part 7. Resonant Architecture. Your body as a crystal temple. Let us now bring this cosmic principle of geometry down into the most intimate of all creations, your own physical body. You have been taught to see your body as a machine of meat and chemicals. The forgotten knowledge is that your body is a liquid crystal temple. It is a magnificent semiconductive geometric antenna designed to receive and transmit frequency and information. Every part of your body has a crystalline structure. The collagen in your connective tissues forms a geometric crystalline matrix. The water in your cells, which makes up over 70% of your body, is now known to structure itself into a liquid crystal state, capable of storing and transmitting information. And your DNA at its core is a crystalline aperiodic crystal. It is a coil of light and information. Your bones have a piezoelectric quality, meaning they generate an electrical charge in response to pressure. You are not a soft machine. You are a walking, talking, breathing crystal. And what do crystals do? They resonate. They receive, amplify, and broadcast frequency. Now consider this. When you hold a thought form, a geometric blueprint charged with a magnetic feeling, where's that broadcast coming from? It is coming from your bioenergetic field. And your physical body, as a sensitive, crystalline antenna, is constantly listening to this broadcast. It is constantly being shaped by the resonant geometry of your own thoughts. This is the deeper mechanism of epigenetic change. When you hold the geometric thought form of fear, a contracted, chaotic shape, charged with a magnetic feeling of anxiety, you are broadcasting that frequency directly into the crystalline matrix of your body. The water in your cells begins to structure itself in a chaotic pattern. The antenna of your DNA receives a signal of threat, and it translates it into a chemical reality, turning on the genes for stress and disease. You are literally building the architecture of fear into your own flesh. When you consciously choose to hold the geometric thought form of wholeness, a perfect, coherent sphere, and you charge it with a magnetic feeling of love and gratitude, you are broadcasting a new, harmonious frequency. The water in your cells begins to form beautiful, coherent, hexagonal structures. Your DNA receives a signal of safety and harmony, and it translates it into a new chemical reality. It turns on the genes for repair, for regeneration, for vitality. You are building the sacred geometry of love into your own temple. This is not a metaphor. It is biology. It is physics. The work of the Japanese researcher Dr. Masaru Emoto, while controversial in mainstream science, gave us stunning visual evidence of this principle. He demonstrated that water crystals, when frozen, form beautiful, complex, hexagonal snowflakes when exposed to words and feelings of love and gratitude. When exposed to words and feelings of hate and fear, the water formed ugly, distorted, and chaotic shapes. You are 70% water. What shapes are you building inside yourself with the hidden geometry of your thoughts? This knowledge was buried because it makes you the ultimate authority on your own health. It reveals that the power to heal is not primarily in a pill or a procedure, but in your own capacity to change the resonant frequency of your own being. It puts you back in the architect's chair of your own biological temple. Your body is constantly being rebuilt, reformed, according to the blueprints you are giving it. You are not a victim of your body. You are its creator. And with every thought you think, with every feeling you feel, you are either designing a temple of light or a prison of pain. The choice and the tools are yours. Part 8. The geometry of the collective, shaping the world dream. This power of geometric creation does not stop at the boundary of your own skin. You are not an isolated architect, building your own private house. You are a node in a vast, interconnected, collective field of consciousness. You are a single mind within the one universal mind. And the geometric thought forms you broadcast contribute to the overall architecture of the shared world dream. Imagine the collective human consciousness as a vast cymatic plate. Every individual is broadcasting their own dominant frequency, their own habitual geometry. The pattern that appears in the sand of our shared reality, our politics, our environment, our social structures, is the sum total, the resonant average, of all our individual broadcasts. When the vast majority of humanity is unconsciously broadcasting the geometric thought forms of fear, of scarcity, of separation, and of blame, what is the collective pattern that must emerge? It is a world of conflict, of war, of environmental destruction, of inequality, of suffering. The world we see is not a random accident. It is a perfect geometric reflection of our collective inner state. It is a masterpiece of unconscious, chaotic design. This can feel like a despairing thought. It can make one feel helpless in the face of such a massive, discordant symphony. The hidden voice whispers, "What can my one tiny, harmonious thought do to change this cacophony?" And here lies the most hopeful secret of resonant physics. A single, coherent, powerful frequency can have a disproportionate effect on an entire field. It can begin to organize the chaos around it. This is the principle of entrainment. Imagine a room full of grandfather clocks. If their pendulums are all swinging out of sync, the room is filled with chaotic, clashing sounds. But if you leave them long enough, something miraculous happens. They will all, eventually, entrain to the rhythm of the most powerful, most stable pendulum in the room. They will all start swinging in perfect unison. You, as a conscious architect, have the power to become the most stable, most coherent pendulum in the room. When you do your inner work, when you diligently practice transmuting the geometry of your own fear into love, your lack into abundance, your separation into unity, you are not just changing your own life. You are changing the world. You are broadcasting a powerful, coherent, harmonic signal into the collective field. And that signal, like a tuning fork, begins to create resonance. It begins to ping the dormant wholeness in others. It begins to entrain the chaos around it into a more harmonious pattern. You do not need to fight the darkness in the world. You do not need to protest, to argue, to convince. This is the old way, the way of fighting shadows with other shadows. The new way, the way of the conscious architect, is to simply, powerfully, and relentlessly hold the frequency and the geometry of the world you wish to see. You want peace in the world? Find the unshakable geometry of peace within your own heart and broadcast it. You want abundance for all? Embody the open, flowing vortex of abundance in your own consciousness. You want a world of unity and compassion? See the one self in every person you meet, and hold the geometry of love in all your interactions. This is why this knowledge was buried. It is the secret of nonviolent, energetic revolution. It teaches that the most powerful political, social, and spiritual act you can ever perform is a radical act of mastering your own consciousness. An empire built on fear cannot stand against a population that has learned to master the geometry of love. A system built on scarcity cannot control a people who know they are the source of infinite abundance. You are far more powerful than you have ever been told. The shape of your thoughts is not a small, private affair. It is a cosmic broadcast. It is your contribution to the dream of the world. And by consciously choosing to design a beautiful, coherent, and loving geometry within yourself, you become one of the master architects of a new earth. Part 9. From Architect to Architecture, Dissolving the Designer. We have journeyed through the vast implications of this buried knowledge. We have seen ourselves as the unconscious architects of our lives, and we have claimed our power to become conscious designers. We have learned to wield the tools of thought and feeling, of geometry and magnetism, to shape our reality. And now, we must take the final, paradoxical, and most liberating step of all. We must let go of the architect. For the entire journey up to this point has been framed within a subtle duality. There is you, the architect, and there is reality, the building that you are designing. There is a creator, and there is the creation. This is a necessary and powerful stage of empowerment. But the ultimate truth, The secret at the heart of the Hermetic teachings is that there is no separation between the two. The architect and the architecture are one. The thinker and the thought are one. The dreamer and the dream are one. The final epiphany is the realization that you are not a consciousness using geometry to shape the universe. You are the geometry. You are the universe shaping itself. Let us return to the cymatic plate. We saw the vibration creating the pattern and the sand conforming to it. But what is the vibration and what is the sand? They are both expressions of the one underlying field of energy. They are not two separate things. The pattern is the visible body of the invisible song. You are not separate from the thoughts you think. You are the thoughts, and you are the silence that contains them. You are not separate from the world you perceive. You are the world, perceiving itself through your unique point of awareness. When you hold a thought of fear, you are not just creating fear. You are the frequency of fear in that moment. When you hold a feeling of love, you are not just generating love. You are the geometry of love. This is a profound shift. It moves you from doing to being. You stop trying to create a new reality. You simply are the new reality. You stop trying to feel abundant, and you simply relax into the state of abundance that is your natural being. You stop trying to be peaceful, and you simply let go of everything that is not peace. The identity of the conscious architect, as powerful as it is the last and most subtle mask of the ego. It is a spiritual ego, the one who is proud of its ability to manifest, to create, to control its reality. The final step is to let go of even this powerful identity and to dissolve into the process itself. You are no longer the musician playing the instrument. You are the music itself. You are no longer the architect designing the cathedral. You are the sacred geometry of the cathedral itself. You are no longer the one speaking the command. Let there be light. You are the light. In this final state, there is no effort. There is no technique. There is only the effortless, joyful, and radiant expression of your own true nature, which is the nature of the all. You are a living, breathing, walking thought form in the mind of God, and the geometry you embody, simply by being your authentic self, becomes your gift to the world, your silent sermon, your architectural contribution to the new earth. Part 10, the Epiphany, the unfolding blueprint. And so we arrive at the final, quiet recognition, the ultimate secret that was buried for 3,000 years. It is a secret that can only be understood when all the others have been integrated. The secret is this: the blueprint was never blank. You did not come into this life as an unconscious architect with a messy, inherited set of plans that you must now throw away in order to consciously draw new ones. That was the story of the journey. That was the drama of empowerment. The deeper truth is that you, the divine soul, before you ever entered the simulation, were a master architect, and you designed the entire blueprint of this lifetime yourself. You chose the challenges. You chose the limitations. You chose the family, the body, the core wounds. You designed the flawed geometry of your early life with divine precision. Why? Not as a punishment. Not because you were unworthy, but because you knew that the process of overcoming that specific geometry, of consciously transmuting that specific lead into gold, was a precise alchemical journey your soul required for its own greatest evolution and expansion. The crooked house you have been living in was not a mistake. It was your divinely designed spiritual gymnasium. The dysfunctional relationship patterns were not bad luck. They were the curriculum you wrote for yourself to master the geometry of love. The financial struggles were not a curse. They were the crucible you designed to force you to discover the infinite abundance within. Your greatest challenges have been your greatest gifts, lovingly and intentionally placed on your own path by your own higher self. This is the ultimate act of reclaiming your power. It is to look back on your entire life, not just the good parts, but the darkest, most painful parts, and say, not with resignation, but with profound, awe-filled gratitude, I designed this. I chose this, and I did a magnificent job. It was the perfect design to lead me to this exact moment of remembering my own power as the designer. In this recognition, all blame evaporates. All victimhood dissolves. All resentment for the past becomes irrelevant. It was all you. It was all a masterpiece. And the future? You realize that it, too, is already designed. in its highest potential. There's a divine blueprint for your life, a golden geometry of your highest possible expression. The great work is not about desperately trying to draw a new map. It is about becoming quiet enough and coherent enough to be able to read the magnificent map you have already drawn for yourself. It is about aligning your conscious, free will choices with the beautiful, sacred geometry of your own soul's highest destiny. The hidden geometry of your thoughts is not a tool you use. It is a language of your soul, communicating its own divine blueprint to you in every moment. Your only job is to learn to listen, to trust, and to allow that magnificent pre-written architecture of light to unfold effortlessly as the living reality of your life. The blueprint is within you. The architect is you. The building is you. There is no separation. You are the hidden geometry, the magnetic field, and the living temple. If this great remembrance has awakened the master architect within your own soul, subscribe and continue this journey of conscious creation with us. The age of unconscious design is over. The age of the divine human, the master of light and form, has begun, and you are its foundation stone.